Macmillan Audio presents The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. Read for you by Caitlin Kelly and Dan Bittner. "13 years ago. The Headlands, Kira territory.
Give me the child."
Torin's hands reached for the girl cradled in his wife's arms, and she looked up, her swollen eyes glistening.
"They're waiting, Svanhild."
She touched her daughter's face, tracing the curve of her brow with the tip of her finger. "I will carry her," she whispered. Her black hair fell over her face like a veil as her bare feet hit the cold stone floor and she stood on weak legs. When Torin stepped toward her, she moved from his reach. The comfort of her husband would only turn the river of pain in her chest into an angry ocean. So he let her go, watching her step into the ice-blue light of dawn spilling through the open door. He took the bow from where it hung on the wall and followed, his eyes on the hem of her white linen gown. Below, every soul in Fiara stood at the water's edge to witness the funeral rites. The bitterly barren headlands that had been the home of the Kira for generations were iced over, though winter was gone, and Svanhild couldn't help but think her daughter would be cold, even if she was dead. The wind pulled the thin cloth around her slight frame as she walked the winding path down the steep incline to the violent waves crashing on the beach. There, her people waited. She looked straight ahead, tightening her arms around the girl's body, and one cold drop of rain hit her cheek. The clouds churned overhead, the rumble of thunder echoing the pounding heart in her chest. She looked up into the blackening clouds, where the nighthawk was circling, and uttered a curse on her breath. She'd consulted the spinners of fate before her daughter was born 6 years ago, and they'd told her what future lay ahead. But she still hated them for it. The 3 spinners who sat at the foot of the tree of Orther, weaving the destiny of mortals, were as cruel as the cold waters that had pulled Svanhild's daughter beneath the waves. Her pleas to save her child had gone unheard, swallowed up by the raging sea that surrounded the headlands. The boat was already waiting in the shallows. Its carved prow craned over the beach in the shape of a serpent's head, and garlands of willow were draped over the sides, where a maze of runes and ravens' wings were burned onto the hull. Inside, long stalks of nodding avens and lupin were piled in an offering to their god, Narrator. The people were silent, their eyes on Svanhild as she stood on the beach, peering down into the face of the girl. Her skin like milk, her hair like ink. The black marks that covered her skin wound around her arms and legs in patterns that Svanhild had made herself only a year ago. They were the same ones that covered the skin of every Kira standing on the beach, a labyrinth of ancient prayers that had been passed from one generation to the next, and that signified her as a child of Narrator. But even the gods couldn't spare mortals from the hands of the spinners. Torin set his hand onto Svanhild's shoulder, and she blinked, sending hot tears falling into the fine linen. She waded out into the icy water, the gown clinging to her hips and legs, and the rain began to fall harder as she leaned over the side of the boat to set the girl down carefully, nestled into the soft violet and blush blooms. Torin took hold of the prow, shoving the boat out onto the water, and Svanhild swallowed down the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?